Have you ever just looked around at people and thought to yourself, I'm surrounded by idiots? It's a pretty bold statement, right? Well, it's actually the title of a super popular book, and the idea behind it is fascinating. It suggests that we can basically understand everyone by breaking them down into just 4 primary colors. So, let's get into it. Let's figure out who you really are. Alright, so just a quick gut check. Which of these colors do you feel like you are? Red, yellow, green, or blue? Don't overthink it, just what's your first instinct? Because this little question, well, it's actually the key to unlocking a totally new way of seeing yourself. And yeah, everyone else around you too.
Look, we're all a mix, right? A little bit of everything. But we all have that one dominant color, the one that's kind of our default setting when it comes to our personality. And today, right here, we're going to figure out exactly what yours is.
Alright, so let's meet the cast of characters, the 4 core personality types. And trust me, once you get this, it's like having a cheat code for dealing with people. So, first up, let's talk about the color that's always in charge.
So, say hello to the Reds. You know these people. Their whole world is about one thing: getting stuff done. They're all about power, achievement, and seeing real, tangible results. Think of those natural-born leaders, the ones who just make a decision and go.
And yeah, the profile for a Red is crystal clear. They are bold, they're laser-focused on the finish line, and oh boy, are they impatient. They need to be in control, they need things to move fast, and if there's one thing they absolutely hate, it's waiting.
Okay, moving on to our next color, yellow. If Reds are all about power, yellows are all about people and having a good time. They are fueled by fun, by social connection, and by spreading optimism. They are literally the life of every single party. You can just feel their energy, can't you? Yellows are super social, super enthusiastic. They tend to talk a lot, they've got a million creative ideas. You know the type. They walk into a room and suddenly everything just feels brighter. All right, let's dial down the energy just a bit and talk about the greens. So we've had control with red and connection with yellow, while greens are driven by something else entirely: calm, stability. They just want things to be secure and peaceful. They are the natural helpers, the supporters, the calm in the eye of the storm. Honestly, greens are kind of the bedrock of any group or team. They're so gentle, unbelievably patient, and you can always count on them. But, and this is a big but, they hate sudden changes and conflict. They will do pretty much anything to avoid it.
And that brings us to our final color, blue. For blues, it's all about one thing: logic, accuracy, making sense of things. These are your analysts, your planners, your organizers. For them, facts are king and systems are everything.
So, how do you spot a blue? Well, they're super analytical, they're kind of obsessed with the details, and they are so organized. They will not, I repeat, will not make a decision until they have all the facts and all the data. To a blue, a world without logic is just chaos.
Okay, so you've met the 4 colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. Now for the fun part, the part you've probably been waiting for. Let's find out which one you are. And don't worry, it's a super simple test.
It really just boils down to 2 questions. That's it. So, first question: are you an introvert or an extrovert? Basically, do you recharge your batteries by being alone or by being around people? And second question: when you make a decision, do you tend to lead with logic or with emotion?
And here's the magic grid that puts it all together. Just follow along. If you said extrovert and logical, boom, you're a red. An extrovert who's more emotional, that makes you a yellow. Now, if you're an introvert and logical, you're a blue. And finally, an introvert who's more emotional, you, my friend, are a green. So, find your spot. Did you find your color?
All right, so you know your color. That's cool. But here's where this stuff gets really powerful. Understanding what stresses you and others out, because each color has its own unique set of triggers. Let's get into it.
Okay, so for reds, what drives them crazy? Losing control, slow progress, repeated mistakes. For yellows, it's being ignored, feeling left out or embarrassed. For greens, it's sudden change or any kind of conflict. And for the blues, it's illogical decisions and sloppy, careless work. Does that sound about right for your color? I love this quote about greens because it's just perfect. It says, they retreat into their shell like a turtle when confronted. And isn't that such a great image? When things get too intense, too much conflict, they don't lash out,
they just retreat. Pull back into their shell where it's safe. That's their go-to defense mechanism.
Okay, so we know the types, we know their stress points. Now for the real game changer, the communication code. How do you actually talk to these different colors in a way that they'll actually hear what you're saying? Let's start with the task-focused people, our reds and blues. With them, it's all about efficiency. If you're talking to a red, just be direct, get to the point, fast. Don't waste a second of their time. And if you're talking to a blue, you better have done your homework. Come with facts, come with data. Don't even try to win them over with an emotional story. It's just not going to work. But now, flip the script completely for the people-focused types, yellow and green. For a yellow, you got to be friendly, bring the energy, smile, let them be the star. For a green, it's all about being gentle, being calm. And if you have to bring up something tough, you do it privately, and you do it softly. It's a totally different ballgame. And see, at the end of the day, this isn't just about you in a vacuum. It's about how we all interact together. Which brings us to our last big topic. Which color combos create powerhouse teams and which ones, well, don't? First, the power duos. You put a red and a blue together, whoa. You get a fast, super effective results machine of a team. They just get things done. Now, what about a blue and a green? That's another great one. They create this calm, organized team that just produces incredibly high-quality, thoughtful work.
But yeah, some combos are tricky. Put a red with a green. The red screaming, go, 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 while the green is saying, hang on, let's think about this. Total clash. Or a blue and a yellow. The blue needs a detailed plan, A to B to C, and the yellow is over here like, ooh, what if we just did something completely different? You can see how that creates friction if you don't know what's going on.
And really, that's the whole point. This isn't about slapping labels on people and putting them in a box. It's about understanding the rules of the game of human interaction. Once you see the colors, you can change how you play. You could build better relationships, and you can turn those frustrating moments into actual teamwork. So let me leave you with this question. Think about the most important person you're going to talk to today. What color are they?